Have you ever considered the impact your words have on your life and relationships with others? Every word we speak has the potential to change not only our own perception, but also the destinies of those around us. In a world saturated with information, it is important to recognize the significance we assign to what we say. Wisdom lies not just in the ability to express thoughts, but also in the capacity to choose moments of silence. Stoic philosophy reminds us of the importance of inner peace and self-control. It teaches that true strength is found in the ability to remain unflappable in difficult situations. Instead of reacting to provocations, a wise person takes a pause, contemplating the consequences of their words. Every uttered sound should carry meaning and intention, rather than being a spontaneous expression of emotions. In our communication, we should strive for sincerity and respect. This not only strengthens our connections with others, but also protects our inner selves. Words can inspire, support, and encourage, but they can also hurt and destroy. Thus, it is crucial to choose carefully what we say. In this context, let's explore 11 things that a wise person would prefer to leave unspoken. By refraining from empty words, we pave the way for a deeper understanding of ourselves and those around us. This is a choice that leads to a more meaningful life, filled with harmony and respect. Let us delve into the power of silence and the true value of words, learning to better understand ourselves and others, creating space for sincere and significant interactions. Number 1. Precipitated words. Have you ever caught yourself thinking that you said something you later regretted? Those moments when emotions take over can lead to words that hurt and leave a mark. Let's explore why it's so important to control your words and how this can change your life. Imagine a situation. You're at a party, surrounded by friends, and suddenly a tense topic comes up in conversation. In a moment of impulse, you throw out a cutting remark to prove your point. Yes, it might seem like you've won the battle, but the next day you may feel like you've lost a friend. Those words, spoken in the heat of the moment, become an inseparable part of your story, and it's not so easy to untangle them later. Stoic philosophy reminds us of the power of words. Epictetus said that it's not the events themselves that upset us, but how we react to them. This means that if you don't control your emotions, your words can become a weapon you're wielding against yourself. Speaking without thought can not only hurt others, but also reflect our inner weakness. Let's think about how often we say something hurtful when we're angry. For example, you might be arguing with a loved one, and suddenly a thought pops into your head. Why should I put up with this? And you end up saying something hurtful. In the moment, it might feel justified, but then you realize that in destroying, you're losing more than just a temporary conflict. You're losing trust and closeness. Stoics teach us to take a pause. Before responding, stop and ask yourself, do these words make sense? Are they building something or just tearing it down? It's not always easy, but it's in that moment that you show true strength. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." It's like martial arts skills. You don't just react to a blow, you strive to control the situation. Successful people aren't those who are always right. They're the ones who know how to listen and weigh every word. Each of your words is a brick from which your reputation and relationships are built. And if you know when to be silent and when to speak, you're already one step ahead. Number 2, gossip and spreading rumors. Have you ever thought about how your words can change not only your life, but also the lives of those around you? Every word we speak has the potential to create or destroy. Gossip and rumors are not just behind-the-back conversations, they are real weapons that can hurt and inflict pain. In Stoic philosophy, this is seen as a manifestation of ignorance and a lack of inner control. When we gossip, we are actually putting our relationships at risk. Let's consider an example. Imagine that in your circle, someone who isn't present is being discussed. At first glance, this may seem like a harmless conversation, but soon you might notice that your relationship with that person begins to change. Rumors spread like a virus, and what you said in jest could turn against you. As Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This is a call to be mindful of every word. Gossip not only hurts those we talk about, but also degrades ourselves. When we choose to judge or spread worthless information, we reveal our weakness and lack of emotional control. A wise person understands that true strength lies in the ability to choose words wisely. Instead of engaging in gossip, they opt for silence or constructive dialogue. What are the consequences of baseless rumors? Seemingly harmless information can easily escalate into something more significant, damaging relationships and creating emotional wounds that may never heal. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who inflicted the injury." Wisdom is not about seeking revenge or condemnation, but about uplifting ourselves and those around us. Ask yourself, do your words add value to the lives of others, or do they merely stir up unnecessary conflict? We don't need to belittle others to feel better about ourselves. Instead, let's harness the power of silence and listen. In doing so, we not only develop ourselves, but also build meaningful and lasting relationships. We live in a world where information spreads at lightning speed. Every time we share gossip, we risk creating a negative atmosphere around us. Instead, become a source of positivity and support. Remember, kind and measured words are the most powerful tools available to us. Use them wisely, and you will see how your surroundings change for the better. Number 3, provocations. What truly causes us fear and anxiety? More often than not, it is not the events themselves, but our thoughts about them. As Epictetus said, "It is not things that disturb us." When we react impulsively or allow ourselves to be provoked, we not only diminish our value, but also violate a fundamental principle of Stoic philosophy: self-control. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot influence the actions of others, our response to those events is entirely within our power. A wise person does not engage in pointless arguments or thoughtless provocations. Provocations, whether verbal or physical, often come from people who are experiencing insecurity or seeking to assert their significance. This behavior disrupts inner balance and undermines the calmness that a wise person strives to achieve. Instead of succumbing to anger or conflict, the Stoic chooses a peaceful response. They understand that a tranquil heart is not swayed by external provocations. Consider a situation at work. Imagine that a colleague makes a provocative remark directed at you during a meeting. Instead of responding immediately in kind or entering into conflict, a wise person would take a step back. They might ask themselves, "Why does this remark provoke such a reaction in me?" This approach allows them to maintain inner calm and not give in to the provocation. Another example is a conflict within a family. When emotions run high and someone begins to criticize your actions, it is important to remember that your reaction shapes the course of the conversation. Instead of responding to criticism with aggression, you might say, "I understand that you are upset. Let's discuss this later when we are both calmer." This creates space for constructive dialogue and prevents further conflicts. Stoics teach us that in tense and stressful situations, a wise person does not choose the path of provocation or agitation. They control their emotions and act rationally. consider how allowing yourself to be provoked could affect your relationships or the situation as a whole. Through such examples, we realize that true strength lies in the ability to remain calm in the face of provocation. Stoics do not allow themselves to be influenced by external factors. They understand that the greatest victory is the victory over oneself, maintaining reason and steadfastness even in the most challenging situations. Number 4. Intimate financial details. In Stoic philosophy, self-control encompasses not only the management of emotions, but also the management of personal information, particularly financial data. Money, as Stoics assert, is one of the external factors and does not determine a person's true worth. This understanding is especially relevant in modern society, where material possessions are often used to gauge success and status. Excessive sharing of personal financial details makes you vulnerable. When you openly discuss your income, assets, or financial achievements, you not only place yourself under scrutiny, but may also inadvertently provoke envy or misunderstanding among others. For example, in a friendly group where one person begins to boast about their successes, it can lead to others feeling uncomfortable or even less significant. Such behavior creates tension, especially if not all participants in the conversation are on the same level of financial well-being. When someone shares their financial successes, it may initially elicit admiration. However, over time, this admiration can shift to envy and comparison. Not everyone earns the same, which can lead to feelings of inequality. For instance, at corporate parties, you might encounter a situation where one colleague shares news about buying a new house, while another may be struggling to make ends meet. As a result, such discussions can create awkwardness and even resentment, fostering division among people. Personal financial details, when shared inappropriately, can create an atmosphere of insecurity and tension in relationships. Keeping financial information private not only protects you, but also helps maintain equality and respect. When we do not use money as a measure of our worth, we find true peace. This underscores the importance of personal privacy and self-awareness. According to Stoic philosophy, a person's true value is not measured by their financial status. Seneca, one of the well-known Stoics, asserted, "The poor man is not he who has little, but he who desires more." This statement reminds us that inner wealth and the ability to manage our desires are more important than material possessions. A wise person, guided by Stoic wisdom, understands that protecting their inner peace involves keeping unnecessary details to themselves. Instead of disclosing personal financial information, it is better to adopt a simpler approach to life, allowing personal achievements to serve as internal motivation. Ultimately, the tranquility of the soul is more valuable than temporary admiration for material numbers. Stoics teach us that wealth and success do not define us as individuals. True strength lies in the ability to maintain inner balance, regardless of external circumstances. Therefore, when choosing what information to share, remember that your true wealth lies within you, not in your bank account. Number 5. Lying. Lying is one of those topics that raises many questions and contradictions in our lives. Many of us may wonder, does lying truly bring any long-term benefits? Within Stoic philosophy, truth is the foundation of all relationships and inner peace. Stoics argue that lying destroys trust, both between people and within oneself. Lies often start with small, seemingly harmless statements. For example, you might say you were late due to traffic, when in reality you simply overslept. This small lie, like a snowball, can grow larger. With each new excuse or distortion of the truth, you dig yourself deeper into a trap, creating more chaos in your life. Ultimately, when the truth comes to light, the consequences can be catastrophic. not only the loss of trust, but also the threat to your reputation, career, and even your relationships. Lying not only deceives others, but also leads to internal conflict. Every time you tell a lie, you lose a piece of your honesty. This can provoke feelings of guilt, shame, and inner struggle. Stoics believe that honesty leads to inner peace, a freedom from the fear and pressure that come from the need to maintain a lie. A person who chooses truth frees themselves from the burden that a liar carries. Consider examples from everyday life. An employee who distorts their work results to avoid responsibility may initially feel relief. However, when the truth becomes known, they risk not only losing their job, but also damaging relationships with colleagues. In the end, they realize that short-term gain has turned into long-term losses. Another example is in relationships. A partner who hides financial problems or infidelity may hope that temporary silence will maintain peace. But when the truth surfaces, it can lead to the destruction of a relationship that could have been saved through an honest conversation. So why do we continue to lie if we know the potential consequences? Often, it stems from the fear of how others will react or the desire to avoid trouble. However, it is important to remember that honesty is not just a moral choice. It is a path to freedom. When you choose truth, you build strong relationships based on trust that are not easily broken. Ultimately, the trust you establish with others is far more valuable than the temporary benefits of a lie. Honesty brings peace and confidence, allowing you to be who you are without the need to hide behind a mask of deceit. Lying may seem like an easy way out in difficult situations, but its long-term consequences can be devastating. By choosing truth, you choose the path to inner peace and freedom. It is essential to remember that honesty is not merely a virtue. It is the foundation for strong and trusting relationships that bring joy and fulfillment. After all, isn't it more valuable to live in truth than in illusion? Number 6. Privacy on social networks. In the modern world, where social media has become an integral part of our lives, it is important to consider how many traces we leave behind on the internet. These digital footprints can have significant consequences for our personal lives and mental health. Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on self-control and moderation, offers valuable tools for understanding and managing our presence in the digital space. Social media can be both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, it allows us to maintain connections with friends and family, share moments of joy, and find like-minded individuals. On the other hand, it creates a risk of openness that can threaten our privacy. Every post, every photo becomes part of the public discourse, and we cannot control how that information will be interpreted. Stoics teach that inner peace cannot come from external sources such as likes or comments. When we focus on seeking approval from others, we put our inner harmony at risk. Every time we share something personal on social media, we run the risk of finding ourselves in a situation where our words and actions can be misunderstood or used against us. It is important to ask ourselves, do we really need to share every aspect of our lives? Often, this desire may stem from an unconscious craving for validation from others. A Stoic chooses to protect their privacy, understanding that personal peace and security are far more valuable than transient pleasures from attention. Examples of public figures who have faced negative consequences due to excessive openness on social media serve as reminders of how quickly one can lose control over personal information. Their stories often end in public scrutiny, negative comments, and even career loss. Protecting your privacy online is not just about safeguarding personal data. It is also a way to free your mind from unnecessary conflicts and anxieties. We need to learn to find satisfaction within ourselves, rather than seek it in the opinions of others. The question to ask is, do we really need external recognition to feel complete and happy? In this digital age, where every step can be recorded and analyzed, Stoic philosophy offers a valuable perspective. It reminds us of the importance of inner peace and self-control. The ability to protect our privacy and separate ourselves from external approval allows us to live a more mindful and fulfilling life. Remember that your true happiness does not depend on likes or comments. It resides within you. Use Stoic understanding to guide your life toward true values and strong relationships based on trust and respect, rather than the fleeting pleasures of the digital world. Number 7. Making fun of others. In a world where mockery is often seen as a way to lift one's own spirits at the expense of others, it is important to remember the profound meaning embedded in Stoic philosophy. Mockery may provide a fleeting sense of superiority, but this path leads to spiritual weakness and a lack of wisdom. True strength lies not in belittling others, but in the ability to show compassion and understanding. When we laugh at someone, it generally reflects not their shortcomings, but our own. Stoics teach that true joy and fulfillment come from within. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics, urged us to appreciate life and all its manifestations. His words, "When you wake up in the morning, think about what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love," remind us that our lives are short and precious. The time we spend mocking others could be better used for personal growth and development. Mockery not only diminishes respect for us, but also damages relationships. A wise person understands that each of us is on our own journey and that no one is perfect. Instead of causing pain, we can choose the path of compassion. This requires courage and inner control, but it is these qualities that make us stronger. Consider the story of a well-known athlete who faced mockery and criticism for his failures. During competitions, he often did not achieve his best results and was subjected to condemnation from spectators and comments on social media. Instead of responding to mockery with aggression or humiliation, he chose an approach based on inner peace and self-improvement. This athlete began to work on himself and support others who were also going through tough times. He became a source of inspiration for many, demonstrating that true strength lies not in belittling others, but in helping and uplifting them. His story shows how one can overcome difficulties and continue moving forward while maintaining respect for oneself and others. The question we must ask ourselves is, what can we learn from the behavior of such individuals? Does mockery truly make us better, or is respect and understanding the true path to peace and happiness? Each time we choose compassion over mockery, we not only enrich our own lives, but also create a kinder and more respectful society. In the end, let us strive to be a source of light and support for those around us, rather than spending our time belittling others. This will not only make us better individuals, but will also help create a world where everyone can grow and thrive. Number 8. Empty commitments. For Stoics, commitments are not just words, but a fundamental aspect of human dignity and responsibility. They understand that empty promises made without the intention of fulfilling them undermine trust and create voids in relationships. In a world where words can easily diverge from actions, Stoic philosophy reminds us of the importance of sincerity and consistency. Promises are sacred acts that reflect a person's integrity. When we give our word, we must remember that it is not merely a formality. Promises create expectations, and when we fail to deliver, we not only diminish our own value, but also harm those who have trusted us. This creates a chain of disappointment and distrust that can destroy even the strongest bonds. A Stoic lives by the principle that actions must align with reason. Reason tells us that we should only promise what we can deliver, and in cases of uncertainty, it is better to refrain from making promises. This requires honesty, both towards ourselves and towards others. Consider how many times you have made promises that you could not keep. Whether it's a commitment to meet a friend or an agreement to help a colleague, unfulfilled promises lead to disappointment and erode trust. For example, you might promise a friend to help them move, but when the day comes, you find an excuse to back out. This not only frustrates your friend, but also calls your reliability into question. In the workplace, empty commitments can have even more serious consequences. A leader who promises to improve working conditions but takes no action loses the trust of their team. This leads to decreased morale and can be fatal to productivity. Gradually, empty promises build a reputation for irresponsibility and unreliability, which can negatively impact the entire team. A wise person does not make promises they cannot keep. They understand that actions are the true measure of honesty and responsibility. Instead of speaking too much, they let their actions speak for them, thereby building genuine trust among others. As we delve deeper into the understanding of commitments, we might ask ourselves, is it worth making easy promises? Perhaps we should take the time to reflect and only promise when we are truly confident in our ability to deliver. Doing so not only makes us more trustworthy, but also allows us to live a life of honesty and sustainability. Thus, commitments in Stoic philosophy are not just words. They are essential elements of our lives that shape trust and relationships. They require sincerity, responsibility, and wisdom from us. Ultimately, when we learn to value our promises, we not only become more reliable, but also create a space for healthy and sustainable relationships in our environment. Number 9. Intelligent handling of personal dissatisfactions or grievances. In life, no one can avoid moments of dissatisfaction or disappointment. These feelings can arise for various reasons: when we fail to achieve our goals, when others do not meet our expectations, or when circumstances do not unfold as we planned. However, the key point is not the dissatisfaction itself, but how we deal with it. Stoic philosophy teaches us that external events are not as important as our reaction to them. Personal dissatisfaction is a natural part of life, and wise individuals who practice Stoicism know how to face these challenges with calmness and understanding. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not over external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This advice reminds us that while we cannot change circumstances, we have complete control over our thoughts and reactions. When we encounter dissatisfaction, instead of allowing emotions to take over, a Stoic asks themselves an important question: why should I let things beyond my control disturb my mind? This approach helps us detach from negative emotions and focus on what truly matters. For example, if you don't receive a promotion at work, instead of getting angry or complaining, you might analyze the situation. Perhaps your expectations were unrealistic, or you overlooked certain factors. Dissatisfaction often arises from misplaced expectations and distorted perceptions. If we understand that not everything depends on us, it allows us to let go of negative emotions and concentrate on what we can control: our attitude and actions. For instance, instead of spending time complaining, we can channel that energy into self-improvement and skill development. Next time you face dissatisfaction, ask yourself, how will you choose to react? Will you let emotions take over, or will you use your wisdom to find a more rational approach? Rejecting negative reactions and seeking constructive solutions can help you not only overcome difficult moments, but also develop resilience. The ability to cope with dissatisfaction is an important skill that can be developed. Stoic philosophy offers us tools and wisdom to prevent external circumstances from affecting our inner state. By accepting our emotions and understanding that we can only control our reactions, we become more resilient and better prepared for life's challenges. Ultimately, this not only enhances our perception of situations, but also fosters personal growth and development. Number 10. Respect for beliefs and religion. When you meet someone with beliefs different from your own, what is your initial reaction? This question goes beyond personal views. It touches on how we can learn to coexist in a diverse world. Respect for others' beliefs is not just a virtue, it is the foundation of healthy relationships and a peaceful society. A wise person recognizes that behind each belief lies unique life experiences and contexts. For example, imagine two friends, one of whom actively practices veganism for ethical reasons, while the other is a passionate meat-eater who believes that consuming meat is part of his cultural identity. Instead of judging each other's choices, they can exchange opinions, discuss their views, and perhaps even find common ground. This openness and willingness to understand each other are important steps toward harmony. Conflicts based on differences in beliefs can arise in various situations. Consider, for instance, the debates surrounding genetically modified organisms, GMOs. One group may see GMOs as a necessary step for ensuring food security, while another may fear their impact on health and the environment. If both sides are not willing to listen to and understand each other, it can lead to increased polarization and distrust. Let's look at the example of religious diversity. In some cities, interfaith dialogues take place where representatives of various faiths gather to discuss shared values and differences. It is crucial for participants to approach the discussion with open hearts and respect. For instance, dialogue between Christians and Muslims might focus on common moral principles such as compassion and justice, creating a foundation for mutual understanding and friendship. Stoic philosophy offers us valuable lessons in this context. Stoics teach that while we cannot control the beliefs of others, we can control our reactions to them. This means that instead of responding with bias, we can choose respect and understanding. For example, if you encounter someone who openly expresses political views that you disagree with, you might ask yourself, how can I learn about their perspectives without judging them? Do you agree that respecting differences in beliefs can help us create a more harmonious society? If you support this idea, please leave a comment saying, agree. Number 11. Confidential information from third parties. Have you ever thought about the role trust plays in relationships? It is not just an abstract concept. Trust is the foundation upon which all human connections are built. When someone reveals another person's secret, they not only hurt the individual who confided in them, but also destroy a valuable bond that could have strengthened over time. In Stoic philosophy, keeping a secret is seen as a moral responsibility and an expression of self-control, helping to avoid unnecessary conflicts. When someone trusts you with their secret, they are essentially placing their faith and hope in you. This trust is sacred, and a Stoic philosopher understands that breaking it is not only a betrayal of another person, but also a betrayal of oneself. Every word spoken carelessly can cause irreparable harm, and Stoics remind themselves of this to remain mindful of their words. Ask yourself, how would you feel if a friend disclosed your secret to others? Once trust is broken, it becomes fragile, and restoring it can be extremely difficult, if not impossible. In everyday life, we often encounter examples of when personal information is disclosed. For instance, an innocuous conversation at work can quickly escalate into gossip and lead to serious conflicts. Even a small secret, once revealed, can destroy friendships or distance family members. The emotional wounds caused by such betrayal can linger for a long time, even if they are not immediately visible. Marcus Aurelius taught, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This advice emphasizes the importance of carefully considering our words before speaking them. Disclosing a secret is not merely an act of disrespect. It is also a violation of honesty and self-respect. Stoics inspire us to control our words and consider their impact on others. So, in summary, we understand that controlling our words is not just a way to avoid conflicts, but also a powerful tool for managing our emotions and building strong relationships. Every word truly has its power. It can create or destroy, strengthen trust, or sow doubt. By following the principles of Stoicism, a wise person chooses to hold back unnecessary words and focus on what truly matters: understanding, tolerance, and calmness. Each time you're about to say something, ask yourself, is it really necessary? Does it bring any value? If the answer is no, then silence may be the wisest choice. Remember, the ability to keep secrets and respect trust is not just a moral duty. It is an important step toward building strong and healthy relationships. Let's cherish trust as a precious resource that requires special attention. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. Together, let's create a space for understanding and wisdom. Thank you for watching.